There's a big, massive problem that I don't see many people talking about. And that is when you scroll on YouTube and when you search for SMMA or when you search for how to generate leads, you are bombarded with tons of big creators who are all telling you different methods of how to get leads, how to organically outreach to people, how to use Facebook ads. But the problem is with these big accounts, these influencers, these gurus in the SMMA space, they get 90% of their leads through their YouTube channel, but they're telling you that they get their leads through outreach and all these techniques and tactics they're teaching in the video because they sell a course which teaches about that. So they're basically saying the solution is over here, but really the solution to their problems and getting lots and lots and lots of leads is actually through the YouTube channel that you're actually watching. This is very, very obvious to some people, but I have actually consulted for some of these big guys. I've helped them in certain aspects, and I know that 90% of their leads come through their YouTube channel, right? But they don't tell you that. So this is a massive, massive problem. This is called a perverse incentive. So people are telling you one thing to help you achieve something, but really, they're not really telling you the truth of how they've achieved something. Back in 2018, Sam Ovens created a second course, and it was called Up-Level Consulting. And he had a few different courses. The first one he released was Consulting Accelerator, and that was 0 to 100 grand a month. And it was focusing on service delivery, how you can outreach to clients to basically set up an agency and get clients so you can provide a certain service for them. You could be reaching out to lawyers, you could be reaching out to solicitors, you could be reaching out to roofing repair companies, whatever, right? But then once you got to 100 grand, you could then join his second course, which is called Up-Level Consulting. And basically what Up-Level Consulting was a course which was teaching you how to scale your agency. And how you will go about scaling your agency is taking your service, which you got in Consulting Accelerator, which you have been, rolling out to different clients and providing it for them, and you would basically put it in a video course instead. And then you would sell the video course to the clients so it would free up your time. So they would just watch the video course and kind of do it themselves then. It would free up your time. You would then have all this time and you could scale way more. You could go past 100 grand because your time is you're no longer constricted by your time, right? You are essentially free to do whatever you want in your time, and you just have to monitor your course and make sure you update it with certain things, etc., right? But during that period, there was an explosion of people thinking to themselves, business owners thinking, well, hold on a minute. How about I create a course which teaches other business owners how to get more clients and customers, how they can do that? And I create a course, I direct it at them, and there was this huge explosion of internet gurus, of influencers, of people on YouTube now teaching you and funneling you into this course so they can scale whilst teaching you techniques. But the bit that's wrong about it is that a lot of them are using YouTube to scale this. YouTube is fantastic. I used to run a LinkedIn agency, right? And just last year, I created a Loom automation software. And for my LinkedIn agency, I was focused on, complete cold outreach or warm outreach for people I spoke to, and basically just lead generation all day. And I would do these lead generation techniques to build up my LinkedIn agency. But I introduced YouTube a few years ago, and from my YouTube channel, I ended up getting tons of leads for my software. Like just in the last 6 months, I got 60 users for a software which I've built completely on my own. And 50 of them have all come from YouTube. And it's just this thing which just plays in the background, and it's this amazing way to scale. And I admit it's been fantastic for my software business, right? It's been fantastic. I couldn't, I'd have had to pay a lot on adverts just to get that same result. But I just put the videos on YouTube of demonstrations of this software working, and people are just signing up for free, and it doesn't cost me anything, right? So it's an amazing way to scale. Now, the problem is, like in 2023, things have evolved so much that people now know that if you put in a title of a video, how I made $1 million, last month, or how I closed a $10,000 a month client, right? If you put that in the YouTube video title, you're probably going to get views. Now, this is so common knowledge that even if you haven't done that and you put it in your YouTube video title, you probably still get views and you will build an audience. So there's a lot of people out there who are following influencers, who are following people on YouTube who haven't actually done the work themselves. They've just seen that this is now an effective technique of uploading a YouTube video, titling it with the right thing, and that will actually go and get you leads and do the lead hunting for you, right? So this is a problem because there's lots of people now, because I've spoken to hundreds of people in the SMMA space, and it's difficult to build a business with lead gen. It's, particularly in 2023, it's very, very difficult now. You have to be savvy with what you say to people. There's all sorts of restrictions across different social media platforms because they've tried their best to get rid of automation. So there's all sorts of workarounds you need to know. You know, Google have clamped down on cold emails recently. If you're going to send a cold email to an email address which isn't a business address, they've clamped down on that. And now we're in this situation where people don't want to actually do that work anymore. Instead, they want to upload the YouTube video, tell everyone that they've got the secrets to lead generation and cold outreach success within their course that's linked in their YouTube video. But really, they're getting the exposure and the leads through their YouTube video. And I've been seeing people popping up all over the place, and they've got they've got titles like, I started SMMA a week ago and I've closed my first 2 clients. And I'd like to bet my entire bank account like that's not true, because it's a very, very tough journey. And this is such a big problem that it's setting incorrect expectations for the new people who are getting into entrepreneurship, because they're actually looking at this, they're trying these things themselves, not knowing the people they're watching are getting the majority of their leads from the YouTube channel. And they're thinking, nothing's working. I've tried my hardest. I've stressed myself out over the last 4 or 5 months and nothing's worked at all. And now I think it's my fault, right? So I'm just going to give up on entrepreneurship, which I think is like the worst way ever to, take on something as challenging as entrepreneurship. Just go in with completely the wrong expectations. That it's going to be very, very tough for you. It's going to be really, really hard. And the journey is going to require a lot of work and dedication. And you might not get instant results. You know, Sam Ovens talks about that. He didn't get, I think, his first client until like he was 12 months in. And now we've got, people who are 18, 19, who are posting YouTube videos saying, I got my first client within a week. It's a very, very tough space. And I'm not really sure what the solution to this is anymore, other than educating yourself and being a little bit aware that these things do happen, right? Because YouTube also rewards big accounts that get more views and get more, engagement. And if you put a title up saying how I made $1 million or $10 million in X amount of time, and you talk about, your outreach strategies in this video, you're going to have loads of people watching it, which is going to then encourage YouTube to show it to even more people. And these accounts basically grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And they might be based off like a complete lie, which is crazy to think about. One of the biggest lessons that I've had through my time in business is that you have to be aware of these perverse incentives, and you have to actually look at what people are saying they're doing versus what they're actually doing as well. So, for instance, good example, Alex Hormozi gives amazing advice. I really like him. I think he's, gives great advice. But he made this video, this whole topic about how he's grew his social media accounts and how he's essentially got more subscribers, more followers on Instagram and things like this. And he listed out all these methods, and basically what it came down to is give the audience so much value that they, don't know what to do with it that they really don't know what to do with it, that they then end up giving it back in another form. So they'll go and buy your stuff because you give them so much free value. And basically he said value and consistency, like posting a lot while offering loads of value. Now, what he didn't mention in that video, which I know he did for a fact, was the fact that when he was at 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, I started to hear about him in all the private communities that I was in. And I started to hear like people were just posting again and again and again for this dude who had 4,000 subscribers. And they were all saying, you should check out this guy's channel, you should check out this guy's channel. Now let's keep in mind here, there were thousands and thousands of entrepreneurship channels, right? But everyone was saying, you should check this guy's channel out, you should, really look on this. So this created loads more subscribers for him, which in turn got loads more views on his videos. But he was asking people who he was speaking to, who he had met over the years, to post about him, which got him this massive explosion of subscribers. And not many people know this. I was in the communities where this kept suddenly happening. Just think about it. How many accounts with 4,000 subscribers do you suddenly start to become aware of because loads of people start posting about it? Is there really no other valuable stuff out there like Alex Hormozi stuff, which would also attract you to it? But no, so he made that video. That's a perverse incentive. Like, he was not telling you the true driver of what has actually drove his growth on content. And what it was when he hit 4,000 subscribers or 3,000 or whatever, whenever I started following him, he basically asked a load of people to start sharing his stuff, right? And there's nothing stopping you from doing that either. But my point is that he made a video, but he didn't cover that specific thing there either. Sam Ovens as well. Sam Ovens, really, really good. He's got lots and lots of really amazing stuff that really helped me as well. One of the ways that he got one of his big breaks, where he scaled at a crazy rate, happened when he did a joint venture with Tai Lopez. And Tai Lopez basically sent an email out to his email list talking about Sam's program, whatever he was selling at the time. And loads of people discovered Sam through Tai Lopez, right? But like, that's how he got his start there. And it wasn't posted, the monotone, really helpful, super valuable videos on YouTube. Even though that was a part which encouraged people to buy from him, like, people actually had to discover him first. And it was through that. It wasn't through the ads. It wasn't through like the outreach he'd done over the years. It wasn't through just the hard work. It was one of those single look events, right? Where he has partnered with Tai Lopez, and Tai Lopez had like over 1 million people on his email list. And that helped people discover Sam Ovens. And don't get, like, I'm not hating here, guys, right? But what I'm saying is that you have to take a step back and look at what people are saying actually has helped them grow their business versus what they've actually done. And often what they've actually done, the actions, is where the answer is, but it's often hidden under different layers. It's not that hard to find. You kind of have to piece things together. You hear a rumor, right? And this is like one of the biggest ways for you to actually build your business. So look at what people are doing at the moment. YouTube is an amazing, amazing tool for getting leads on it, right? So if you can create videos which are very, very helpful for your niche, that will probably do well, right? And it will help you get more leads that way. However, if you're going to be one of these people who's like, this is how I booked my first 2 clients in doing, SMMA for 1 week, and you're sharing these tips and techniques which you've heard through the grapevine of somebody else doing, that's not quite as helpful, right? And eventually people will discover, they'll be like, hold on, man, that doesn't quite make sense, that doesn't quite fit in. If you look at a lot of the courses in the SMMA community at the moment, they've all come from Sam Ovens' course. They're all the same. Sam Ovens created a mindset section in his course in like 2017, and they have all got a mindset section in now, all these replica ones, right? If you look at like the channels of these people who've studied from Sam, you'll see that their content is almost repurposed of what Sam's is, and they're saying exactly the same things in exactly the way that he's done it as well, because they know they found like a successful model, and they're thinking, well, I'm just going to put that out there as well. And sometimes the successful model is actually, it does actually work, right? Like what Sam said, that is now getting repeated, is really good advice and it does work. But you also have to be like, did this person really think of this? What are they doing which is really driving their business? Is there other things that I'm not seeing here? What's the opinion of the audience? And if you look under, these comment sections in the YouTube video, you'll see like overwhelming positive advice, which makes it even tougher basically for you as an individual to work out like, what are people actually doing? Like, why can't I grow my business? But all these other people are telling me it's really easy. I saw the most arrogant thing from this guy. And he was saying that basically he has, that it's unbelievably easy to get to 10K a month, right? And he was just preaching and preaching and preaching. It's unbelievably easy to get to 10K a month. He was like, you don't have to be, he was pretty much saying that if you can't get to 10K a month, you're an idiot, right? My experience of getting to 10K a month, the first time I did 10K, like it took me ages to do, right? And everything had to kind of fall into place for that to be the thing. But then like years later, this guy came out is that he came from, a wealthy family and his agency wasn't even doing well, right? Throughout the entire time it was open, when he was telling everyone he was a millionaire, like his agency wasn't even doing well. So what people say and what's really going on are two very different things. This should be obvious by now, but social media is like a gift and a curse because it's got all this knowledge sharing which is happening. But also as well, the knowledge sharing sometimes the knowledge is just wrong, right? And how are you going to be able to filter that information out? Well, you can filter that information out by just trying your best to educate yourself. I think one of the best things I did was study psychology. I did psychology in uni, and then since then I've been studying persuasion, sales, marketing. I study evolutionary psychology, and it's fascinating to see how, particularly guys, just chase status, they chase resources, and they always overemphasize. Evolutionary psychology is basically the theory that we do everything, as guys and women, we do everything to basically secure a partner so we can reproduce and pass on our genes, right? The most known theories about evolutionary psychology is that guys, and there's good evidence of this as well, is guys do anything to achieve status or financial resource acquisition. They do anything to achieve it, but if they haven't got it, they tend to lie about it or over exaggerate, right? Because they need the status and they need the resources, and they know as well that once you've got those, it kind of almost grows, right? Then it's much easier to grow from there as well. So once you understand psychology and understand and do your best to keep reading into this, you start to think like, well, this is very, very obvious, and I've made this rant video, and I don't want you to think that I'm just hating on people. What I'm just trying to tell you is like the observations I've made over the time of being in this space. And I speak to so many people and like they're just disheartened by they've not got the right result. They're disheartened that, things haven't worked out for them. In England, like to be in the top 10% of earners, you have to earn £60,000 a year, right? £60,000 to be in the top 10%. To the US, that sounds very small, right? But to be in the top 1% of earner in the UK, I think you have to earn 140,000 a year before tax. Top 1%, right? That means most people don't make it. Think about it. That means most people don't make over 60 grand a year. 90% of people don't make over 60 grand a year. So you look at the data and look at the statistics. And if you look at as well in America, that most people, when they do entrepreneurship, would actually be better, more well off by getting a job and working at McDonald's at like the ground level, right? Than they would be starting their own business. So when you see all these little reels and these YouTube shorts of these people who are doing fantastic, just think to yourself, am I just getting served the video impressions from the people, from the accounts because YouTube's discovered what I like, and it's literally just showing me that 1% over and over and over and over again? Or is it likely that most of these guys actually don't know what they're talking about and they're just playing it up for social media? Well, I'll tell you, it's a bit of both, but it's probably more number two as well. It's probably more the playing it up for the social media, because I know that people do that from seeing with my own eyes and from consulting in their businesses or consulting for someone and being in the same mastermind and then seeing how things go as well. So I started out with this video with the intent of actually saying, you know what, I'll give you guys a bit of advice on it. But I think advice on how to outreach and how to say, but I've already done a lot of that on my channel, and I've already gave scripts and things and shown live outreach of me actually booking people. But what I haven't told you is to be aware of out there, to be aware of, the sharks, of the people who are trying to tell you to do things when they're not doing it themselves. And they're saying these things are really effective, but it's basically because they've got an incentive to tell you that, because you join their course and pay them more money. It's easy to write on a video how I made $1 million a year when you started making $1 million a year with YouTube videos, right? Not with the stuff you're actually telling people to do. I'll leave you to think about that, but I hope you're having a fantastic new year. And as always, guys, a few of you reach out to me in the DMs and just chat with me. I'm always up for just chatting with my community and, helping you where I can. At the moment, I don't really sell anything other than consulting for companies and my software as well. That's the only real things I'm selling at the moment. So if you're interested in those, just reach out to me. But if you just want to chat, you can come and chat to me anytime you want. Okay, take it easy, guys. See you later.